All right, I guess we are live. What's up, everybody? What is up, everybody? What is up, everybody? What's up? It's your boy MM2K. I'm here with Cold Blood Sensei. Cold Blood, how you doing today, good brother?
Amazing.
Amazing.
And it's gonna be even better when we talk about that motherfucking Indiana Jones.
Yeah, man, we got a lot to talk about. This is going to be one of those things to where it might take up 2/3 of the show and shit. I mean, and to me, it's a lighthouse on the state of gaming journalism, right? But yeah, we're going to talk about that Indiana Jones. But do us a huge favor, man, as y'all come in, hit that like button. Let's get to 10 likes. Let me put that in here. Hit that like button. Let's get to 10 likes. We had a hell of a show yesterday. I guess we can recap on the show just a little bit as people are coming in. We talked about Sarah Bond. Sarah Bond yesterday was concentrated on as far as like a report that was out there talking about, you know, this is Xbox campaign and, you know, the trivial areas of the internet. They were trying to, you know, double down and, you know, all these sides, Cold Blood, that we always get hit with, you know, no, it's racism, or no, it's this and that. No, that's why I say keep the political mind state out of this. Let's look at what's actually going on. Let's just look at what people are doing. Okay, it's not focused on who the people are in this case. Let's look at what the people are doing. And it's clear cut that we have a situation where you have leadership at Microsoft wanting Xbox to shed its console gamer base, and they have a plant in there in the name of Sarah Bond. And Sarah Bond is saying, which I don't like totally disagree with. Sarah Bond is saying stuff like, hey, you got to get out of here, out of this competition with PlayStation. Stop it. It's not worth it. Let's focus on trying to get as many hands on our games as possible, right? And then you got another side who I don't totally disagree with, because they're saying you can't make this transition in this way and disregard our fan base like this. Like you gotta, it has to be a transition. You can't just go cold turkey on them. So you have those two sides battling. Both sides are incompetent. Both sides have a hard time putting out quality stuff consistently. And as Cold Blood will talk later on once everybody fills in, I would include in that even this Indiana Jones. I would even include Indiana Jones in this, but we'll talk about all that. Again, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. Cold Blood, while we're waiting for people to come in, what you been playing, good brother? What you been able to get your hands on this week? Oh, did we miss it? Demuted?
No, I'm here. This, bro. Like I said, everything we were trying to troubleshoot shit.
Oh, okay.
So
Yeah.
now that it's done, today I just started up Marvel Rivals.
Oh, okay. What you think about that?
Well, I can't tell you yet, because all I could do is just try out a few of those heroes, and I didn't even play a single match yet, because I was just so tired. I was just so tired. I was almost starting to sleep in my fucking chair. So I said, "Nah."
We did keep you up all night. We kept you up all night last night, didn't we?
Bro, yesterday was bad, but at work it was even worse, bro.
Yeah.
Mm.
Yeah. I think it was yeah.
We're starting with Marvel Rivals, probably as a stream.
Cool. Yeah, it was bad for me too. I didn't get home till 2 a.m. I didn't get home till 2 a.m. I didn't even, I just said fuck it. Like I laid down for a little bit and I like dozed off because I knew I was going to be there late because we had a snowstorm. I knew it was going to take me a while to wrap everything up. And I knew I wasn't getting home till late. I didn't think I was getting home till that late. Well, I got home like around 1:40. Same fucking difference. So I try to like lay down for about half an hour, and then I'm like, what's the point? Because I got to get right back up at 5, 6. I'm like, I just I stayed up and watched YouTube videos and shit like that, and kind of been going ever since then. So yeah, man, it's going to be a rough one. It's going to be a rough one. But no, I'm jacked up off of caffeine too. I had to have a whole bunch of caffeine to keep me up. That was another reason why I couldn't really go to sleep when I got home last night, because we had a snowstorm.
No, Marvel Rivals is gonna be that fucking example of make just good fucking what do you call it? Good fucking design.
Yeah, good design, good characters.
That doesn't make your fucking eyes bleed out.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And it's gonna be a fucking success.
Mm-hmm.
That's all that really Concord needed to do in the end, and it didn't do it at all.
Mm-hmm.
On top of being a bad hero shooter, in my opinion.
Yeah, I didn't. It did not. It didn't seem exciting at all. There's nothing that seemed like the characters. It didn't seem. They seemed boring. They looked boring. Nothing was exciting about that game. Could you make it fun? Yeah, like you could have made Sea of Thieves fun, right? Whoa! Shout out to my homie King's Blood and the Real Maslin. Yeah, man, that's the game. You got to drink. You got to have like 7 beers. Once you get like 7 beers in you, you have a lot of fun with Sea of Thieves. I'm like, okay, well, I'm not drinking any beer just to play no fucking video game. And then my homie King's Blood got in there. Whoa! Turn the boat. Whoa! Shut up. I said, man, you fools is too much for me. I'm not doing all this shit, man. The hell with Xbox. They just got to do better. But yeah, you can make any experience fun, and a lot of experiences are fun, right? Cold Blood, if you're playing with friends and shit, you can play a whole bunch of rinky dinky shit if you're playing with friends. But Concord just wasn't it, man. That's all. Just wasn't it. There's multiple reasons why, but it just wasn't it. Let me get this. Make sure that I got this social blade up. Hold on 1 second, y'all, so I can pull up you guys' comments again. Hit that like button as you come in, please. Hit the like button. Run down. Hold on. Why can't I see the social blade? That is real weird. Run down. I got 2 of these, so we got to get rid of one of those. And then we're gonna pull up that. And we're gonna do this. Yeah. So that was the problem, and Then I think the biggest thing too was that, okay, nobody knows who these characters are, for one. They look dull for 2, but for 3, this is a type of style game that nobody really asked for, especially because these are characters that we don't know. So there's nothing exciting here. And you want us to pay for it up front. Like, that was just a recipe for disaster. Because I thought nobody wanted another hero shooter. They didn't want a paid for hero shooter with the Weather Girls in it. And PlayStation gamers didn't necessarily want another hero shooter for their exclusive. Yeah, we can't mundane it down that much. That's like when we say Xbox has no games. Xbox, and people are like, well, we released all these games and we was the publisher of the year. Nobody's saying quite literally Xbox literally doesn't have any games. We're saying the meaning is Xbox has no good games. That's what you're to derive them from that. So when we say nobody was looking for a hero shooter, we were talking about the PlayStation community who bought a PlayStation for their exclusives and was waiting for that big exclusive AAA womp game coming at the end of the year. This was your offering, Concord. Nobody wanted that. And then on top of that, it was paid for. So yeah. if this, I've always said this. If Concord would have just been like, if PlayStation would have done this, and this is why this current regime, you know, they give me hemorrhoids. They make the inside of the pie shooter itch. If you're trying to grow your base, right? Like Cold Blood can tell you this. He knows this better than I do. Your average PlayStation gamer that's booting up Fortnite, Roblox, Apex Legends, or whatever, that's not the average gamer that is buying your God of Wars, your Horizons, your Ghost of Yotei, your Ghost of Tsushima. They're not the ones that are buying those games and putting those games on the map for other gamers to look at and say, oh, well, I'll buy my third-party games there. Those are two different, again, demographics. So what you don't do is you don't take an effort that's used to stabilize one demographic, which are these games as a service people that play the games as a service games that you don't have any ownership of. So understandably, you want to start getting ownership of the top games as a service games on your, that I don't have a problem with. But the problem here was Sony's approach to games as a service is, hey, you, the single player narrative person, or the Big Bang AAA exclusive person, hey, look, we are going to throw you into this bucket in regards to this effort to grow our games as a service effort. Those people are saying, no, fuck that. We're not here for that. You do that for them over there that want that. We still want what you give us. It would be like if me and Cold Blood was running a restaurant together. And in that restaurant, we sold ribs and steaks. And then one day I show up and I'm like, I got a great idea, Cold Blood. And he's like, what? I'd be like, why don't we sell vegan food, man? He's thinking like, I mean, yeah, vegan food.
That's your bitch ass out there. That's what I was thinking.
Well, let's pretend it like an alternate universe planet or universe, Marvel Universe 213 or some shit like that. let's pretend, right, in an alternate universe, Cold Blood is like, all right, he hears what I say and he's thinking, I mean, I guess we can sell some vegan options too. We will add some vegan options to the menu. There is a bunch of vegans around here, a bunch of vegan shops. Maybe we can siphon off some of those customers.
Hell nah. Hell nah. Let Luigi from the store next door sell that bullshit. That's what I would say.
Oh shit. And what? And in that scenario, instead of Cold Blood, like, you know, he's apprehensive about it. He's like, all right, we'll add some, but it can't fuck with our main business. And I say, okay, but the next day I come in and I dump all of our freezers and refrigerators of our regular food, and I say here, and I substitute it with all vegan options. So as people walk in the store, they're like, hold on, all you got is vegan ribs? Yeah. You know, like vegan food is growing. Like what the Cold Blood, like what the fuck? He'll try to put my face on the fryer. So do you guys understand what I'm saying? Like, okay, I get it. Your top 20 played games, most of them outside of Destiny, you don't have any control over. That is a scary proposal to settle in, especially after you got scared with ABK. We get it. However, if in your efforts to grow that part, it should not disrupt the other part. That's what you borrow money for. You borrow money, and then what you did is instead of just borrowing money and creating separate entities to deal with this, like you did Firewalk Studios, what's her name, Jade Raymond's studio, whatever. Those were purchases of separate entities to deal with this. Instead of you having all this flow through them in accordance with Bungie, you being transparent and say, look, this is our new games as a service effort. We can call this Sony Gas Studios or whatever. And in combination with the great single player narrative games that we have, we've borrowed money, we've extended, and this is a new effort that we're trying to, put forth. Instead of doing it that way and keeping it separate and just being managed by the SIE leadership, they tried to scrunch everything together. We didn't know what Firewalk Studios was working on. We're thinking it's a story-based game. We didn't know that. We don't know. They're taking single-player studios like Naughty Dog or whomever, and they were forcing them to do games as a service stuff to the point to where you had people running to Jason Schreier and crying to Jason Schreier, this isn't good. It's rumored that Connie Bonner, whatever her name, I think that's her name, or Courtney Bonnet, whatever the fucking name is, that got fired, that was part of the producer team. It's rumored that she got fired because she told Herman Hulse and what's his face, Jim Ryan, this shit is stupid. And they're like, there's new sheriffs in town, see you, bye. So that was the problem. It's not just simply a hero shooter can't see success. Sony could have, again, either partnered with somebody like they did with the Arrowhead, came up with better characters, released it at a better time, and I think most importantly, make it free to play. And you could go from having a Concord situation to another Helldiver situation, where it's like now you got multiple games up there. Like I know Helldivers kind of fell a little bit on the console side, but you can always get that shit a shot in the arm and you can shoot it back up. But at least now you got two successes on the games as a service front that are now putting you in a better position over the catalog that you have, that is the most successful, and you're not disrupting us. Sony caused that civil war between us. I know a lot of you all was mad at us because of that, but it wasn't. We didn't make that game. You gotta talk to Sony and Herman Hulse. And then I think another problem too is that this is what I will say is unfair, and I don't know how Cold Blood feels about this, and I don't know how y'all feel about this either. Here's what I will say is unfair when it comes to Sony games as a service titles, where I think they messed up with Helldivers, but I think it's unfair now. It seems like there's a revolt against Sony games that are coming to PC now because of the sign-in requirement. Meanwhile, a slew of other games have the sign-in requirement. Xbox has had it for Lord knows how long. Nobody gave a damn. That further complicates things too, y'all, because it's harder to pull that games as a service player base that plays the Fortnite, the Roblox. It's the people that buy the consoles to do that. It's hard to pull them from those games. So that's why you need PC activity to at least keep the game alive. So here's the thing, y'all. It's going to suck for Sony, but I don't think their games as a service titles that go direct to PC. I don't think you can. You know what I'm saying? I don't know if they can have those requirements anymore. I don't think it's fair. It's not fair. Because why are they even doing it? They're doing it because they want, hit that like button, y'all. We got 13 people watching. They're doing it because Microsoft is making a big deal out of MAUs So now everybody in the investment world is turning to Sony and they're like, well, where's your MAUs at? And Sony's looking like, oh, you slick motherfuckers. You're using MAUs in the sense of anybody that's interacting with your game. Well, we got some games that a lot of people are interacting with too, particularly on PC outside of our console ecosystem. Let's do that too. We're going to do that. So they're trying to just play the same game that Microsoft is playing because now investors are looking at them and they're not allowed to play. That Microsoft is the best. Microsoft is not, they have some talented engineers at Microsoft. I know because I've had to work with them. They've had to help me in my teams with problems. But outside of that, like the forward thinking, the ones that are coming up with ideas and pushing things forward, there's no one there at Microsoft that does that. None. Microsoft is idea stealers. And they're double standard bearers, meaning, and they've been doing this for the last 24 years. They will see something that's successful and they will buy it and steal it. And then anybody else that actually competes in that market, they'll drown them out. That's what the new Google lawsuit against them is all about. Then in combination to that, Microsoft, when they do get pressed about what they do, they create these double standards like, woe is me. One of which is with the other Google lawsuit where they're trying to put their store in the Apple store. Woe is me, poor old multi-trillion-dollar company. I don't want to use my money and create my own secure service. I mean, hell, I could piggyback off Windows with it. It could very easily become popular. I don't want to spend money on that. I just want to build the store, throw it in the Google Play Store, where Google put all their security, their investment, their advertisement. They make that a success. I just want to piggyback off of them and not touch any of my money. Because look, poor is me. I just spent $79 billion on Activision Blizzard. I've run out of cash. That's the standard that they run by, and they've gotten away with it so much it's ridiculous. So Microsoft doesn't innovate anything. They don't. They do have very capable technicians. The best, world class. I will not speak against that. But as far as innovating anything, no, they don't. They just take, rob, and cheat. That's all they do. They've been doing it since the beginning. The only thing that they've created that was innovative was Windows. That's it. That is it. Let's read some of y'all's comments. All right, y'all, hit that like button. Come on, y'all. Hit the like button before we get started. We got Muhammad says, play some Indiana Jones will keep you up to. Yeah, we're going to get into that. We're going to talk about that. It says Marvel Rivals kind of be fire, enjoying it. Yeah, what we might do, Cold Blood, what I'm going to try to do. We did something cool yesterday where and I gotta fix the video. I gotta edit it a little bit before I put it back out there. But we did something cool yesterday, I think, where Cold Blood and I sat and we tried to fix this capture card. We were just shooting the shit. We're going back and forth. I think we got to a good spot for now. We're gonna have to go back in late, but you know, in if you have problems with this capture card, you can see our troubleshooting shit. And then we were shooting the breeze, and then while we're in the middle of us doing this and we're about to like close shop, this is part of the reason why Cold Blood's tired. Then all of a sudden the Sarah Bond news came down, right? And when that Sarah Bond news came down, we were like, oh, oh no, it's time for us to go live. And then we went live and we talked about the, and that was all off the cuff, right? I want to do that more. I would like to do a lot more stuff with the members because you guys go above and beyond to show your support. We appreciate it. And then, you know, to start rolling out some new member goals, follow up with Geek to Sneak and people like Sean who got gifts for y'all. But what we want to do is we're trying to transition out of the Geeks Discord, because the Geeks was our old project that we were trying to do with other creators. And then I kind of like sunset it. So we're gonna do something else. We're trying to come up with a new name, but we'll figure that out later. We just need the new Discord. We need to get you guys over there, and then we need to start building the rooms and having some fucking fun. So one of the things I would love to do is like, if there's a bunch of games, I'm gonna tell y'all this too, because my PlayStation, I'll give credit to the Pro without disparaging anyone else. I'll just say this: the PlayStation 5 Pro is so awesome. It's kind of changing where I play most of the time. Like, I haven't had this feeling in a long time, and it's not just because it's the shiny new thing. Trust me. Because when I got my PlayStation 5 day one, I didn't feel like it was the shiny new thing. I had to play it all the time. I was like, I need a PlayStation in my house because they make awesome games, and there's no fucking way that, there's going to be a game coming down the pike, and if I don't secure it now, I might fuck up my money and not be able to secure it when I want it. And then I knew it was going to be hard to get, right? Because of the pandemic, chip shortage, all that shit, right? So I was like, fuck that. I'm getting my PlayStation 5. But it's sat a lot of times, right? Opposite of Deathloop, some other shit. It sat most of the time. My go-to was cloud gaming, and then, up until this year, my go-to was GeForce Now. Like I said, I'm not going to disparage them. I'll have some conversations with them when the opportunity presents itself. No, the PlayStation 5 Pro is that, and you guys know, and again, this is not me capping, right? Because Cold Blood will tell you, hit that like button, y'all. We got 20 people watching. We're about to start the show. Cold Blood will tell you, if you guys don't watch the content, I would sit there and praise PlayStation 5. And Cold Blood would just fuck around and say, yeah, that's why it's better than cloud gaming. And on a Switch, I would go, nope, you know what I mean? So it's not just because I recognize PlayStation as being the number one publisher out there as far as making great content, and I recognize that their ecosystem is just the best as far as when it comes to quality. I still had my preference, which is cloud gaming, and I was going to combat any slander, right? I'm very much still a cloud gaming advocate, co-owner, co-creator of clouddosage.com. Definitely check that out. Great site. I truly believe in cloud gaming now and definitely its future, right? But if I'm being honest with you, the thing that has me most excited doesn't mean that cloud gaming doesn't excite me anymore. It still does. It still excites me, and I can't wait to see when somebody takes the reins of it and really shows everything that it's capable of. And PlayStation could be one of those people from what we've seen recently. But when it comes to gaming and my number one way to game, it's purely the PlayStation ecosystem. I'm thinking of, okay, I'm going to get a Portal. You know what I'm saying? I love using GeForce Now Ultimate and picking up PC games because it's cheap. You can get PC games cheap. I get PC Game Pass. I can get codes for $6 if I let my subscription lapse and go look for a key somewhere. At this point in time, I don't even give a fuck about that anymore. I'm gonna be honest with y'all. I don't care about none of that shit. Like right now, it's like, okay, this game might be $30 over here to play it on PC through GeForce Now Ultimate, where I can game at like 4K 100 frames per second, right? Or I can play it on the PlayStation 5 Pro, where, okay, I'm gonna get 4K 60. I might get like 4K 70, 80 in some instances, right? But the visual enhancements of that PSSR is like so, I can't even explain it, bro. It's so sick. And it's so immersive. Like you got to play it in order to see, like the videos that I got up there that, we got thousands. This is our number. That's the biggest video I've ever had out of the two channels. Out of the two MM2K channels is that one with where I'm showing Stellan Blade. That's only giving you like 80% of what's capable in that game. So what you need to do is, I highly suggest you get a PlayStation 5 Pro. All right. I thought nobody wanted a hero shooter. Yo, El Nini, what's going on? He said Mediator Jake is as trash as the real gamers. Yeah, we're going to talk about it, man. There's a lot to talk about with that game, what we're seeing. But Cold Blood and I, we put our money where our mouth is. You know what I mean? Ice Cream said we need to move on from the Concord talk. Now it's over with. Y'all stuck. That's sticking with y'all. I'm just saying, you got to learn from your lessons, Ice Queen. And, it wasn't just about people hating on Concord. Concord had its compound issues. Let's see here. It says, I think we should all start playing PlayStation, saying PlayStation has no games as a way to tell us what they're doing. I mean, I do think there's some pressure needs to be put on PlayStation, definitely. We talked about the other day, Cold Blood and I, that they need to just start showing shit. They need to start doing what Bloober Team did with the game Chronos. They need to go, even if it's like a 2-minute cinematic trailer and then the game in the last 10, 20 seconds shows you actual gameplay so we know what avenue the game is working towards. They got to start doing that now. It's about time. Like, we got to stop playing these games, these close to the vest games. Like, we only know like 90% of the games that we know that are coming down the pike were because of the leaks. So if it wasn't for the leaks, we wouldn't know shit. And I am telling you that there have been things shown to people. I've interviewed developers on stuff that ain't got nothing to do with PlayStation. And then as soon as the interview was over, oh, did you see what PlayStation? Did you talk to PlayStation? Did they fly you out? So PlayStation got some shit for whatever reason they're not showing. I don't know what. You scared of Phil Spencer? What are you scared of? You whooped his ass into submission. He's in a thumb wrestling match with Sarah Bond. What are you afraid of? Like, just show the shit, man. Show the shit. Let me see. This is Janky Joe. Go ahead, brother.
You know what they're afraid of right now?
What's that?
I think they're afraid of Chinese developers right now.
You think so?
More than fucking Xbox, bro.
Okay.
Because the minute we show you some fucking goddamn Chinese basement developer, bro, gonna come up with a fucking copy of it. Yeah. I'm telling you, bro.
Well, they're not helping. They're not helping Cold Blood by allowing it. Like the Exit of Mortrim or whatever that game is called. They apparently approved it.
No, I think that was actually what do you call it? An inside job.
Yeah.
From Sony. Yeah. From Sony themselves.
All right. I think we're good. Hit that like button, y'all. Can we get to 10 likes? We're gonna get to our 10 likes. We want our 10 likes. We are so ready to pounce on this Indiana Jones thing. As a matter of fact, let me change the title. I mean the game here. That's one thing I forgot to change was get it out of Stalker 2 and Indiana Jones. We want to pounce on Indiana Jones so bad, but we got to get our 10 likes.
More, nah, not on Indiana Jones right now. I want to pounce on these reviews.
Oh yeah. Well, yeah.
The
reviews for Indiana Jones.
I ain't gonna go around and shit on the game right now.
Yeah. So get the 10 likes, y'all. Come on, we're only 6 short. Hit us up with the 10 likes. We're almost there. Matter of fact, just to show you. Wait, I'm gonna put this up here. We'll be back. Story. Hold on. Story. Honorable mentions. No, we're gonna edit this. Waiting for 10 likes.
Bro, you just have to read some of these fucking conclusions on these reviews, yeah?
Yeah.
And look at the score and be like, how in the fuck did you come up with that score?
Mm-hmm.
When you shit like, yeah, the gameplay is fucking boring and everything. It has flaws, but you give that bitch an 8.5. Oh, that goes like a fucking 4 or 5 out of 10, bro.
Yeah. We're getting there, y'all. Good. Thank you.
What the flaws and bad gameplay is just 1.5 points worth of deducting.
Yeah.
What the fuck?
You know what that reminds me of, Cold Blood? Guys, we're three likes away. What it reminds me of is when you look at Black Myth Wukong and you looked at Stellar Blade and you look at the great things that the reviewers actually said about the games, but then they knocked the score down more. Like, I refuse to believe, especially after what I saw. Now, if I'm wrong, I'm wrong. And like Cold Blood said, I will admit that I'm wrong. But I refuse to believe on this planet that I breathe the air on that Indiana Jones and the Great Circle with its Punchy Jenkin and its walking simulator stuff that I saw for about 2 or 3 hours there, that's better than Stellar Blade. Like literally, I watched the person, they were making fun of the game because you would punch shit and it wouldn't move. You would actually, and not just punching walls and cabinets, you would walk up to NPCs and punch them and they wouldn't move. Like you would whip people and it's like you didn't do anything to them. It's so janky, as we said, very janky. And again, a lot of it is not. Go ahead.
If it's as janky as you describe it right now, then anybody that said it's a fucking masterpiece from Xbox should be fucking hanged, bro. Literally hanged. Their site closed, brother. Defunded. Fuck them.
Yeah. I'm sorry. And again, I'm not saying that it's not a cool experience, because we will be able to validate that once we get the game in our hands, once we play it. What I'm saying to you is, with my 40 years of gaming experience, off of what I saw, the jank alone, just off the jank alone, the game is 70. Here's what I'm not going to say that Indiana Jones is not a good game. I am not going to say that at all. I'm not going to say that it's not a good experience overall. I'm not saying that reasonably people can't come away from this experience and say, "Oh, I thought that was cool," or I can't, and I'm not even going to argue that a huge section of people won't do that. Here is my problem with the reviews, and we're going to get into that a little bit more when we get to our 10 likes. Here's my problem with what I'm seeing. I see a $70 game with $40 to $50 parts. That alone deducts 2 points in my book. I don't know I don't know how Cold Blood thinks about that.
What? I didn't
like it, I see. Go ahead.
No, what does deduct points?
If you're charging $70 for a game that, because of the mechanics,
bro, no. The price should not be even an issue at that point. If a game is fucking janky as shit, bro, what does it matter if it's 40 or 70?
Well, I mean, I can understand some mechanics like you're not using the latest technology in a $40 game. I can understand that. I'm you know, I'm not gonna knock you too much for that. But if you're giving me,
bro, wait, you can always use Unreal Engine even if your game is only $40.
I mean, yeah, you could, or maybe you don't have the money to pay for the license. I mean, who knows? You know what I'm saying? I do think the technology that's in your game should be based upon the price. I do think that. Like if you are using it should be based upon, I don't want to say it's based upon the price. I'm sorry. I think price should reflect on it depending upon the type of game that you're making. Like if the game is purposely supposed to be janky because it's some weird art style that's different, that's not the case. This is supposed to be a realistic experience of Indiana Jones, right? This is supposed to be somewhat of a photorealistic Indiana Jones. It may not necessarily totally look like an Xbox 360 game, but it plays like an Xbox 360 game as far as AI response and NPC response. It's bad for a $70 game. I did not expect them to charge $70 for this. And it's even worse than what I thought, because I did not expect for Indiana Jones to be walking and a group full of priests be able to whip the shit out of him and the priests just keep walking. It's so janky, dude. It's so janky. And I think that price should have some type of impact, because then you're going to have the trend. Oh, well, shit, if they could charge $70 for that, why the fuck are we using UE5? Let's go pull out our old UE3 license. You know what I'm saying? Pull out our old UE3 license and put something together in that. What are we using UE5 assets for? What are we going through the trouble to have all these animators and all this shit work on it? Just pull out the UE3 assets. Charge $70. This should not be a $70 game. So that it gets a hit. It can't get no higher. I'm going to say this right now. It can't get no higher than a 9 for me. I'm being nice. It really, because of what I just said, it shouldn't get no higher than an 8. It can't get no higher than a 9 for me. Now, from what I saw, I don't see where it's above an 8, but I gotta play it. I do recognize that, but I am telling you guys this from the start, because we destroyed what's that game with the horse herpes? What is that game where his hind legs had herpes and shit?
Rise of Ronin.
Yeah, we destroyed Rise of Ronin. We're like, okay, the game doesn't seem bad, it doesn't seem horrible, but this does not seem like this game had $70 technology in it. Like, nah, it had an impact. I think the same with Indiana Jones. It should have an impact. Let's see here. Says those Indiana Jones scores remind me of what happened with Deathloop. I'm good. No indie for me. I like Deathloop, but here's the thing. I get to where Deathloop, see, and this is what you got, and it's funny that you bring that up, Corey, because games like Deathloop and Indiana Jones are not a taste that's enjoyed across the board. Like, I don't mind games that require me to have some stealth in it and require me to think it through before I go guns blazing. Just as long as if I do fuck up and I do go guns blazing, I ain't got to restart all over again. You know what I'm saying? Like, oh, it's just going to be tougher for me if I go guns blazing without at least taking out a few enemies. I don't mind that. Where a lot of people may not enjoy that mechanic. And that's why I don't like Dishonored. That's why I don't like none of the Dishonored games, because the Dishonored games required too much stealth, where I think Deathloop finally had a good balance of stealth requirements versus action. But Indiana Jones, which people are comparing to Dishonored meets Indiana Jones, is like that. It requires so much. It's stealth, walking simulator, book reading simulator. It's very little of it is action. Very little of it is action based. And the action that's in there is not gratifying. It's janky as shit. Like, the game is truly built around exploration, like just looking around for shit and solving puzzles.
Moss, actually, I want you to talk about what I just sent you.
Oh, let me see. We got 3 more likes, y'all. We need 3 more. We're chomping at the bit to get on this topic. Yeah, and that's why I said I can't take my brother. I couldn't take his take. Nah. Yeah, you know what happens sometimes, Cold Blood? You say Indiana Jones is a 10 out of 10. Just created a masterpiece in quality and game development. Controversial statement here, but this game is so incredible. You would think Insomnia. Oh my God. Yeah. Okay. Well. Okay. Here we go. Here's what I think is happening, man. And I don't know if you guys notice this. I want you guys to pay attention to something. I want you to notice when these games come out, you may have some people that'll lead the pack with a score. And I think those review scores are whatever. I think those review scores are independent. I won't say that they're authentic, but they're independent. But then you'll see everybody else, particularly IGN and GameSpot. Their reviews are pretty much based upon the consensus. It's like they never want to stray too far from like the consensus that's building. And I think that's the problem. I got a feeling that if the review scores that would have come out instead of what I'm looking at on my screen, I got a feeling that if people would have been saying 777, IGN and GameSpot would have came out with a 7. Like, there is no way that this can be compared to an Insomniac game, an action-packed Insomniac game. Now, I'll give it, the production and the acting on this game is phenomenal. It's movie grade production and acting. Okay. Okay, it still has to be a game though, right? Yeah, whatever. There's no way. Yeah, there's no way. Look, I don't see where you can look at that amount of jank and be like, oh yeah, this is a 10. But games that actually excel at gameplay, this is the problem that I have. I don't have this is why I don't focus on story as much as I do gameplay, because it's a game. And I always think story is additive. That's just my opinion. And I have that opinion because, you know what I mean? I want game developers to make their number one focus the game part of it. I want them to make that the number one focus. I don't think a game that has awesome story play elements, but light, janky, or, borderline crappy gameplay elements, I don't, how can you give that a 10? It's a game. It is a game. That's like giving a movie a 10 out of 10 because the soundtrack is good, but the acting is bad. The cinematography is bad. Let's just say if it's an action movie, the choreography is bad. Like, how do you give a movie 10 out of 10 just because the soundtrack is good? So that's what I will contest, the 10s out of 10s here. But I'm not going to contest and say the game. There we go. We're up to our 10. All right, good. Jesus Christ. You guys were stubborn today. All right, here, let's do our Xbox news today is Indiana Jones. Okay. All right. So, yeah. So here, I'm going to live react. Well, no, I'm not going to. I'll play a little bit of it because now because these mofos. No, yeah, I'm not even going to play any of it. Because we played like 3 seconds of somebody else's video and they actually had the audacity to go in and do a copyright claim because we were playing something on YouTube, and you know how YouTube does an autoplay, and I couldn't click the video off in enough time, and they went and claimed it over the 3 seconds where clearly we were trying to click it off. So I'll read this. Here we go. Indiana Jones is a 10 out of 10, says Hip Hop Gamer. I mean, Machine Games, Bethesda just created a masterpiece in quality in game development. Controversial statement here, but this game is so incredible, you would think Insomniac or Sony Santa Monica made it. Congrats on every level. This game of the year level quality easy. Enjoy the highlighted review of this clip. No. The game is so janky. The game lacks action. Like basically when I watched his video, it's not gameplay. Okay, there's a couple of fight scenes with I forgot the dude from Candyman that passed away. There's a couple of fight scenes that he shows with him, but that, but opposite of that, like when I looked at the action, it's basically just solving puzzles, walking around. Every now and again you'll run into some action here and there, but from every reviewer says that this game is like overwhelmingly stealth and puzzle solving. That necessarily doesn't make it a bad game, but how can you compare that to Naughty Dog and who do you say, Santa Monica or Insomniac? He didn't say Naughty Dog. How can you really, if he would have said Naughty Dog, I mean, it still is a false equivalency, but at least in some of the Naughty Dog games, there are puzzles, there are the downtimes where there may not be some things happening here. Not as much as in this game, but that would be closer to this. Not the two action pack, not Santa Monica, not Insomniac. Especially not Insomniac. Insomniac is superly duperly action-packed studio. This is not on that level. This is like more of an adventure puzzle game. Which there's nothing wrong with. It's a genre. You can have high scoring adventure puzzle games. There are certain standards that have to be held. And when you look at this game, that is, looking towards photorealism because it wants to give you an interactive Indiana Jones experience. When you look at the elements of jank that are in this game and the lack of technology or the use of it that makes this feel modern, then you have no choice but to say, if you're charging $70 for that, that's a problem. Because you're charging premium price for a non-premium product. Don't get me wrong. There's motherfuckers that wet their pants and go crazy over a McDonald's Big Mac. They love Big Macs. But a Big Mac is not a premium cut of beef. Not even beef. Sludge. So you can really like something that's not premium, but in this art where we got so many entities that are coming into this trying to fuck it up and monetize it in the most egregious ways, there has to be standards. If the game is $50, $40, I'm some of the jank that's in it, me personally, this is my personal opinion, it doesn't hurt it as much. But it definitely hurts it. Being in a game that you're now saying is a premium experience that you're tagging $70 on. I mean, we've seen this with Redfall. Like, Microsoft won't stop. This is where Matt Booty said, we're going to take AAA developers and we're going to give you a bunch of AA experiences. Okay, that's fine. That's fine. So you want to take a bunch of Gordon Ramsays and have them make Big Macs. That's fine. Just because Gordon Ramsay made it doesn't mean that the Big Mac now is $100. It's still a fucking Big Mac. So there has to be some standard. And what you're seeing, I think part of what, here, let me try to break down what I think you're seeing. I think what you're seeing, definitely, you guys said it in the chat, you're seeing people that just want to say, you know what, let's give Xbox something. Let's give them something. Like, they're down and out. Let's not punch them while they're down. Sony has nothing coming out at the end of the year. This unfortunately won't get a Game of the Year nomination because it didn't come out in enough time. Then secondly, by the time the next Game of the Year nomination comes out, trust me, motherfuckers are, it'll, I think you'll have the Starfield effect where these early reviews are high until everybody else starts getting their hands on the game. Then when everybody else starts getting their hands on the game, they're like, nah, no thank you. So by the time the next Game Awards comes up, Cold Blood, I surmise everybody would have even forgot about this game. You know what I'm saying? I don't think, I think it'll be out of the game, all this supreme talk about the game. I think it'll fall by the wayside because, again, when everybody else gets their hand on the game, just like Starfield, excuse me, because this game I don't even think it has 50 reviews yet.
I mean, it does.
It does?
If you count both PC and Xbox, it does.
Oh yeah. I'm talking about. Okay, hold on. Let me see. Let me look at what they have on. No, okay. No, I mean like per platform. It's tied at like 47 right now. Let me refresh and just see if. Okay, no, it does now. It has 52. Not, I mean, again, 52 ain't small, but normally, you know, where a big game like this, you would see.
Yeah, but most it's not exclusive to Xbox. If it was, you would see way more on Xbox. A lot of them just decided I want to review it on PC.
Mm-hmm. And it has an 87 now. Which let's go take a look at the reviews. And we want to show all reviews based on recent. I know we recently added. So PlaySense gave it a 90. I think that's the review that just sent it over the top to 87. PC Games gave it an 80. Digital Spy gave it a 90. App Trigger, Digital Chumps. Like, look at all, like, let me see here. Recently added. Okay. So here goes the scores. A lot of these people are, you know, the weird people that we've never heard of. That you normally see. Windows Central, hey, poor player.
Look at pure Xbox.
Pure Xbox?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. Gaming Daily, Gaming Bolt. PlaySense, Digital Spy. 90. Level Up. Gamer Heroes, Eurogamer, Poland. Certo, Digital Trends, Hardcore Gamer, even an 80. God is a Geek, PC Games, even an 80. Noisy Pixel, Pure Xbox. Yeah, they said ever since we caught One of Machine Games, Indiana Jones, we've been excited by the prospect, but ultimately we're a little disappointed in the final product. The overall experience is bad, and it successfully sells Indiana Jones fantasy, but the gameplay elements here just don't match up to the vibe of a fun time. Yeah, yeah. I mean, I see that all day. I see that all day.
It's funny how these Xbox now say pure Xbox is a review platform that should be ignored.
Yeah, it should be delisted. Yeah. I want to find Paris Lily's kind of funny review. Because I think this was telling. I think this was telling. Hold on, kind of funny. Kind of funny. What's Indiana Jones? Indiana. Kind of funny. Think. Okay. Let's see if the Jones, our full review is live. I think I wanted to play a snippet of it. I don't think they would. You think Kind of Funny? I don't think Kind of Funny would tag us if we played through it. Nah, they wouldn't. They're not assholes like that. All right. Let's see. Let's react to Kind of Funny's review. Because I think it's telling. Holy shit, it's 56 minutes. Yeah, we're not gonna react to everything. We'll just go through chunks of it. Okay, I don't want to play the music. All right, hold on. Where's am I playing it for Cold Blood? Let's play it. Now let's go.
Stop. It's Indiana Jones and the Great Circle. Developer Machine Games, publisher Bethesda. Release date is technically December 9th, but like Greg was saying, early access is going.
Mecha robots and stuff. It's just never like that's just not my cup of tea in terms of a narrative, right?
Gotcha. Harris, what about you?
I'm a fan of Machine Games as well, as far as the Wolfenstein games go. Youngblood was disappointing of them, but first one, and then Wolfenstein 2, and what was it? Old Blood, right? That was kind of like a little DLC thing they had as well. Yeah, I love those. I thought they were great, but Youngblood did not land for me at all, which, and we'll obviously get into this now with Indiana Jones. I was very curious to see how they were going to follow that up. And here we are.
Here we are. Let's get into it. I want the thoughts on the new on Indiana Jones and the Great Circle. Greg Miller, kick us off. What would you give Indiana Jones and the Great Circle on the Kinda Funny scale?
On the Kinda Funny scale, I think Indiana Jones and the Great Circle is a 6.5. I think it is an okay video game. I think it's very close to being good. I also think it's very close to being mediocre. The problem I have, which I'm sure I will monologue about many times in this, and I hopefully monologue many times about the things they do right, because there is a lot they do right here. But what I think you see, or at least through my eyes in my very subjective review, is two things getting mashed together. And you could almost visualize being in the Machine Games office, whiteboard up there, and be like, what is Indiana Jones? It's Harrison Ford, it's the hat, it's the whip, it's adventures, it's temples, it's puzzles, it's this. Yes, yes, yes. But that's the movie. What is an Indiana Jones video game? And I think they made some choices there that really detract from making this the definitive, oh my God, this is an amazing game. I think the open zone, because it's not open world, but open zone nature of it is a detriment to it. I think they want you to explore, and they give you very few things to glom onto. I think that they just fail to make exploration fun in this game. I think the game struggles to be intuitive, and I think that's a whole bunch of them piling on video game systems that don't need to be here in terms of, hey, let's have upgrades, hey, let's have currencies, hey, let's have, like, they missed the mark on these, and that holds back the entire experience.
Wow. Well said. Paris, with your, how many hours have you put into the game?
I mean, I think I'm probably 12-ish.
Okay, great.
So that's why I know I'm pretty close to being done with it. I'll knock it out tonight. But yeah, about 12 hours. I'm very close to the end of it. So like I said, I had played the vast majority of the game to be fairly confident to give a score here. And ironically enough, I'm listening to Greg, and in my head, I had a lot of these same thoughts as I was playing the game. Score-wise, I'm probably going to be a little higher, and I'm going to say a 7. But it's the nostalgia of I'm an Indiana Jones fan.
Sure.
That gets it up to a 7. So I struggled a lot with this, like my thoughts about how I was going to present this, because I feel that if you take this as a proper sequel to Raiders of the Lost Ark, fan-effing-tastic as far as a story goes. This should have been an animated movie, honestly, more so than a game, because of everything that Greg's talking about. They made a mistake with the open zones. I think this should have been a more linear game, because I quickly realized once you got to the Vatican, because I did the preview, so I only played like a little snippet of the Vatican during the preview. But now playing it full on, I realized, man, I'm backtracking a lot in this. This is not necessarily fun. I understand what they were trying to do is from a discovery exploration standpoint, because, you know, you go off the beaten path a little bit, you find these secrets, you can kind of get the points, you get the books, you can upgrade Indy, stuff like that. I get all of that. It got monotonous, honestly. It really did. I mean, I would get to, you know, a puzzle or whatever, and none of the puzzles felt overly challenging, like I was beating my head against the wall. But, you know, I'd have to think a little bit. I'd have to go through my notes to figure out, oh, okay, now I see what I need to do, and you would solve it. The combat just did not land. It unfortunately it did not. And that was my work. Is if you go back and watch the preview when we talked about it then, I was a little concerned then about the melee and getting into the combat, and it never, even as I upgraded Indy, it never advanced to where I was hoping it would be. And again, I bring in the Machine Games DNA as a first person shooter, you know, single player experience. They didn't do that. I think the best way I can describe this is they tried to be a jack of all trades, but they're a master of none, because there's stealth elements in this, but you didn't really land it. There's melee in it, but you didn't really land it. There's gunplay in it, but you didn't really land it. You know what I mean? The puzzles is probably the strongest gameplay element that they have in here, but they're not enough to carry the game, so to speak, right?
Yeah.
Positives.
The voice acting in this is fantastic. I mean, again, Troy Baker
I think we heard enough. Okay. So, Yeah, I
That's, wait, Moss.
Mhm.
When I said stop it, I actually wanted to say, the moment you said, I only played 12 hours of it,
Mhm.
these fucking bots are gonna eat his ass for that. Why? Because back when it was with Starfield, you gotta play 30 hours of it just to get it, bro.
Mhm.
You don't get it.
Mhm.
You can get it in 10 hours. That's impossible.
Well, they can
Bro.
try, but they say there's only like a total
No,
of
look. If it was any other reviewer reviewing a game where I'm like 50-50 on it,
Mhm.
and he said shit like 10, I only played 10 hours of it, and I'm not
Mhm.
even done with the game, I would immediately discredit him.
Mhm.
This shill right here, Paris, if he says he played 10 hours of that game and he doesn't like it, oh my god, we better believe that game is not as good as everybody
People
says
are
it is.
making up, yeah. Especially with all the shit. Go
Bro,
ahead.
he has absolutely no incentive to
Exactly.
to say bad shit about the game, but he
Yeah.
does.
Yeah.
So it is bad.
Yeah. I mean, like you said, with all the shilling that's been happening as of late, with you know what I mean? Yeah, Xbox is going to be okay. We got some great games coming. We got Indiana Jones, and I mean, this was one of the games that he mentioned. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, that based upon what I saw is more fathomable than what I'm seeing a lot of people do. And look, y'all, there's no malice in this where I'm like, oh no, I want Xbox to do bad. Xbox is a third-party publisher. This is coming to PlayStation. Like, there is no flex, right, Cold Blood? Like when I see people online saying, yeah, you ponies gotta wait. Yeah, all right, so yeah, you watch your son, you wash your wife up. So, cause she's just my side piece. I'll deal with her when I feel like it, cause I got Stellar Blade.
Wait. What? Who said that?
Yeah, but bro, it's all over
we
the
dodged
internet.
the bullet here?
Say that again?
Who said we dodged the bullet as PlayStation gamers?
No. They didn't say we dodged the bullet. They're saying we gotta wait. They said you ponies gotta wait.
Oh, we gotta wait. Oh,
Yeah.
They said I understood something different.
Yeah, they said we gotta wait.
We gotta wait. Okay, and then we got full ray trace Indiana Jones on PlayStation.
Yeah.
Well, your fucking Xbox is gonna struggle at 30.
Yeah.
Even if at all.
Yeah.
I don't know if that bitch has ray tracing in it.
They're talking about. I saw someone had sent me a message talking about, well, the ray tracing is in there now. Like, I don't know if it's in there for PC or what. I don't. I have no idea. If anybody knows, drop something in the chat. But it's going to be the best experience on PlayStation 5 and then Pro by the time it comes out. That is, you know what I mean? And then whatever they got to address, trust me, they'll address it there. And it's like, yeah, that's like, I don't get that flex. That's like you saying, oh, you got to wait till you get some of my wife because she's eating dinner with me first. And then after she eats dinner with me, when I'm asleep, then she's going to creep off with you. Like that's not a flex. That's a cuck. You guys understand that, right? So it's not about us hating on it because it's coming to PlayStation anyway. And again, it's on PC day and date anyway. You know, so all the better definitive ways to play this game, it will be there. You know what I mean? So, you know, they said wait till spring. So spring is all the way up to, you know, the latest it could be is early June. You know, this game could be coming to PlayStation. Okay, your wife is having dinner with you and your kids. I'm gonna go to the bar hang with my friends, and then when I'm done, she can come over and, you know, stay with me. You know, when she's ready to get to her freakiest, she can come over with me. That flex makes no sense. All right. It's not a good flex. It's stupid. So for all of you that are thinking, oh, this is hate because it's a timed exclusive. No. Also, I will say personally in my case, I know everybody shits on Youngblood. I asked for what it was. I actually just thought it was a cool experience. Didn't think it was the greatest. It was. I had fun with it. I thought it was a cool experience for what it was, right? Because I love the Wolfenstein gunplay mechanic.
And that's why you're special. Because you think that game had any fucking redeeming value.
Yeah, I didn't think. It had the machine. It had the machine games, the Wolfenstein gunplay, and it was co-op. It was. I would say it was. What do they say that? What's the term that they use? It's mindless. It's just mindless fun. That's what I thought it was. I didn't take it seriously as some big time main line version of the game. It was just, it's something extra. It was mindless fun. It wasn't at full retail. I was happy with it. You know what I mean? So again, I like machine games. Here's what I will say though, for full transparency. There's a lot of comparisons made to the Chronicles of Riddick and Butcher Bay and all those other ones. And I think that inlays the problem. Because number one, what made Butcher Bay and the Chronicle of Riddick games so cool is you had this badass motherfucker that systematically would take out people. So there was always action around the corner. You had to be stealthy, yeah, but there was always some action around the corner. And yes, you wouldn't go guns blazing because that made you feel like the Chronicle of Riddick character, and there was good action behind it. There wasn't all this walking and puzzling and all this other stuff as you see in Indiana Jones, right? Secondly, as immersive as that game was for the Riddick character, we gotta be honest here. That type of what made that game what it was is that it was like one of the first person action games like that just wasn't a shoot 'em up, that action games like that felt good, that felt like it was unique, that felt like it wasn't cheesy. But when you look at Butcher Bay and that gameplay has been done a billion times over now in first person, and it's dated. So you done went and took a dated style of gameplay that is nostalgic for Xbox OG owners. I know, because I was one of them. So you took a dated style of gameplay from the OG Xbox era and you stripped it down and you made it more stealthy. You see what I'm saying here? To where here's who I think is actually, looking this game from behind. Number one, it's the people cold blood that are like, come on, man, let's give Xbox a break. Let's give it a break.
Bro, the only thing Xbox needs right now is a back break, yeah.
Bro, I'm telling you. That's you see a lot of that. We saw it with Starfield, so this shouldn't shock anybody. People are confused because I mean there probably are some salty ponies out there, right, Cold-Blood? There's like you and I, we don't give a fuck. We got Game Pass, right? So we want. I mean, I don't want to be paying $6 a month for nothing. So I want there to be good shit in Game Pass. So we don't care about that. Like even though Stalker 2.
Bro, wait. Does someone in chat think we want these games to be bad?
No. I'm saying, because people, how the community will be. Oh, these guys are just saying this because they're haters. They're ponies. You know how they'll try to put those arbitrary labels on us.
Xbox needs a back break for the shit they're releasing right now.
Mm-hmm.
I'm being serious about that. like they did not get their fucking what you call it they did not get the punishment yet for a decade of dog shit.
Mm-hmm.
Like they still being treated like fucking kids, bro, over there.
Yeah.
No, I want these games to be great. I want Stalker 2 to be great.
Yeah. Yeah. I was about to say
Like,
that.
god damn, I want it to be great, but hell no, I am playing that shit anymore until they fix it.
Mm-hmm. I was just about to say that.
Same goes with Hellblade 2.
Yep.
When I played it, I was hoping it's gonna be great,
Mm-hmm.
but it wasn't. It was super boring.
Mm-hmm.
To the point I was like, bruh, just end it here, please. Just end my suffering.
Yeah. We subscribe to Game Pass. We want games to be good and the thing that we're fucking paying for. That don't people that'll try to throw that label at us. Yeah, it's irrelevant. It doesn't speak to us. But there clearly are people that are just like, dude, let's just give this a chance. Right? That's why they walked out of the previews of Redfall, Cold Blood, and said what they said. The game that you see on the screen, that's why they gave that game all these high marks, right? And I played the game and I'm like, I played Halo Infinite's campaign. I didn't go all the way through, but I played the campaign. And I'm like, what is special? I don't see it here. Played Starfield. I played 30 hours of it. Again, the same people that came out that gave the game, I think the game came out like in 84 with the first few reviews. Or the first batch of reviews. Came out like in 84. May have been higher. It might even been in 87. And it wasn't until everybody else got their hands on it. Yeah, and then it dropped. So I just feel like there's a feeling like, oh man, okay, Xbox did something great. All right, let's give them something, man. Because, it's guilt. But I'm a consumer. I have nothing to be guilty about. If I call you trash, it's not up to me to find something good about you. It's up to you to wow me. Because they're wowing me and you're not. All right. So I think that's the first group. The second group is just people that they are trying to feast on the console war. Like they still want there to be some console war. The same people that are praising this are the same people that are like, oh no, now the handheld war is coming. You'll notice that the same people that, is sitting there getting glazy knuckled over this, despite the gameplay flaws, are the same people that are talking handheld wars. They don't know what to do if Microsoft versus PlayStation is no longer feeding the conversation. They realized that ever since
Moss, don't believe these publications even for a second that they don't want the console one. They are glad it's over.
Exactly.
Oh hell no, it ain't.
Hell no.
Bro, that was their engagement.
Yeah.
When that console war is gone, most people don't gonna go to your fucking site anymore.
Yeah. Yep. They want that console war more than anybody. I told you guys. Other creators that I used to work with, I told them, even in the heat of me saying Xbox is trash, shit, I'm going to Stadia. You know what I mean? I told other creators, look, I see it, man. Coming this generation, that Xbox community is going to be at a fever pitch. And the people that I told this to, they know I told this to them. They can't deny it. I wish they would. I said this like 2019, 2018. This community is going to be at a fever pitch. They're going to be out for blood. All the ass whooping and whatever. And now that the Xbox Series X, was rolled out the way that it was at the Game Awards, I was like, oh yeah, like, and I told people, you need to have your own Xbox centric podcast. It would do wonders within that community. I'm telling this to people because I know what was going to happen, even though I couldn't stand the platform no more. I just knew the psychology of the community at the time. I knew it. I fucking knew it. And if I could see it, and these quote unquote salt miners that all of a sudden came over from PlayStation, right, could see it. Because mind you, many of them were PlayStation people. I remember watching their content and them battling other content creators and trying to shit on the Xbox. Now all of a sudden, they're making PlayStation salt content, quote unquote. Why? Because of that fever pitch rabid audience that we knew was going to elevate on the Xbox side. And if I could see it and they can see it, oh, believe you me, with all their tools and resources, even if they do have limited intelligence, but all their tools and resources, IGN could see it, GameSpot can see it, Eurogamer can see it, Digital Foundry could see it, VGC could see it, and the list goes on and on and on and on and on and on. So if all those people, if we could see it, all those people could see it. And now that you have this campaign where Xbox is trying to bow out, everybody's doing everything that they can. Oh, hell no. They're trying to save their numbers, like Cold Blood said. But I want y'all to pay very close attention to something. I want y'all to pay very close attention to something because we're a small channel. And we will talk about and talk against any or everybody. And we'll talk for any or everybody, depending upon what you do. Now, I'm not saying we're getting 30,000 views, but have you noticed how overall their numbers are dwindling while ours are slowly creeping up? Why is that? That's because we don't cap. Anybody can get this work, meaning we are not indicative of, oh, there's got, it's got to be an Xbox versus PlayStation conversation and who's the best out of the two. It doesn't have to be about that. We can isolate Xbox like how we're doing now. We can isolate PlayStation like how we're doing now. We can isolate a game. That's why this platform, or at least this podcast is set up this way. It's set up Xbox news, PlayStation news, Game of the Week news. The message this week has been, come on over, come on. Trying to tell you, Cold Blood said it. They're trying to save their views. So I think that's group two. Group two, they're trying to, not giving this an extra oomph more than what it actually represents. That's taking that's having the console war fade into the sunset more than they want. And I got to give Paris credit. Despite at times trying to capitulate to that, this time around, I felt like he gave his honest opinion. So, we'll see how long he remains to be honest, though, because he's starting to already get blowback from the Xbox community. He might have to dial it back. He might feel like he's going to dial it back. The last group, Cold Blood, that I think is giving this a boost more than what it needs.
Oh, wait, I had something to say about Paris.
Oh, go ahead, brother. Go ahead. Mm-hmm.
You can give him credit for being at least honest with the reviews that he does. But every single time, without fail, he's gonna overhype the shit out of anything Xbox does.
Yeah.
And then later on tell you, oh, there's nothing wrong with Xbox. There's nothing wrong with Xbox.
Yeah,
While his fucking reviews for almost every single game is just a 7, a 6, a 7 again.
I never thought about it.
Well, yeah, like, think about it, bro. He's always saying there's nothing wrong with Xbox. He gives every single game they release a lukewarm ass review.
I never thought. Oh shit! Hit that like button. Oh, I never thought about it.
No, because when I was listening to him, I was like, brother, you be telling everybody up in here that Xbox has no problem whatsoever.
Yeah.
But then, why aren't you talking about the problem that you got with Xbox? The games.
Yeah.
The actual fucking games.
Yeah.
No, it's so fine. So it's so fine.
Yeah, they're okay.
Xbox gonna turn around soon.
Yeah. Like I said, he said earlier, right? Like last week, they got great games. Xbox is in a great place. We got Indiana Jones coming. Indiana Jones was one of the games that he listed.
But bro, no, it's always some great things that come before you play these fucking games. This is so stupid. And
Yes,
you
yeah,
see immediately
yeah.
how he wants to shill for Xbox,
Yes.
but he
Yeah.
just can't
Yeah.
because he knows that if people gonna call him out for being an absolute shill,
Yeah.
it's over with him.
Yeah.
He knows that. That's why at least his reviews are true.
True. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
So he's always in the in-betweener.
Yeah, exactly.
He's not a complete shill,
Mhm.
but he is also not giving up on being a fucking shill.
Yeah. Yeah.
You understand what I mean?
Yeah.
Okay, that's all I wanted to say about Paris. Like, you do you, but goddamn, you are so inconsistent with that shit. I mean, no, you're so inconsistent in being consistent
Yeah.
with that
yeah,
shit. So,
Yeah.
sorry.
Yeah. No, I mean it's the truth. I never thought about that, but yeah, he's, when it comes to there's all this glazing in advance. Put your finger in the socket. You're gonna be okay. Then once someone puts their finger, they put their finger in the socket. They fright themselves to death. Yeah, it was gruesome. It was gruesome. Well, why were you glorifying putting my finger in the socket in the first place? You know what I'm saying? Like, should you have did some research first before you glaze? It's like, it's like he's the ultimate Xbox hype man. And that's why I tell you guys, Paris has a contradiction about him. A lot of these creators do. You got to be very careful, because they're trying to walk the line. They're trying to walk two roads at the same time, and you can't do it. They're trying to walk two splitting roads. The one is going east, one is going west. They're trying to walk both roads at the same time. You can't do it. Road number one is, I want to be an influencer, or I want to be I want to be like a mainstream influencer, that has connections, that keeps it on the good side of these corporate interests when it comes to gaming, or these corporate entities. You can't do that if you're going to be a gaming critic. You can't do both. You can't be Major Nelson and be Jason Schreier at the same time. It's not possible. You can only be one or the other. Now you can be like Greg Miller. He's a critic. He plays a critic. He's cordial with the entities, but he's never getting out there, and he might, in a comical sense, talk shit on PC gamers or whatever, or do some semi-hype of something PlayStation related, but he's not going to come out in advance and just give blind, you know what? They're just, it's going to be great. It's going to, he's not going to in advance tell you ignore the angst that you have because there's some negative stuff out there. He's not going to do that. That's what people do when they're trying to be like a major, they're trying to be like a spokesman and sort of, the word loses me right now. And he's leading that contradictory path. You can't be both, Piers. You're either a critic, a cordial critic. You could be a cordial critic. You're either a critic like Greg, or you are a Major Nelson. You can't be both. I would expect a Major Nelson to come out and say, a Mark Cerny and shit. I would expect one of them to come out and say, oh no, and ignore the faults or glaze them over and say, oh no, everything's going to be great. Everything's going to be fine. I would expect them to do that. You can't do that. You can't do that and be a critic, because what's going to happen is people are going to listen to that because the glazing comes first. That's the problem. The glazing comes first, and to Coldblood's point, this is where you mess up. You do all the glazing, you get people excited, they invest in something that they were, on the fence about, and then here you come after the fact because you gotta watch your credibility. Oh no, it was missing a lot. It was missing a lot. You can't do that. Look, here goes Indiana Jones. Play this. This, dude, this is, I can't believe I'm even giving advice to these people. They've been doing this a lot longer than me. This is what you should do, Paris. Anything, in order for you to be, you need to stay to the right of the road. Go to the right of the fork. Don't go left. In order to go right of the fork, here's what you got to do. Anything Xbox comes out with, make sure you talk pros and cons. Talk pros and cons. So like when you came out there and did that video, yeah, everything's going to be great or whatever. Just say, hey, look, we understand there's angst about the direction that Xbox is going in. And yes, I can see there's definitely confusion in their messaging, and we don't know what role that's going to play with their console. But here's what I can tell you, that if Xbox executes on this and other, these are some of the great possibilities that could happen, but they got to execute on it. So we'll just wait and see. But even if you want to say it's not total doom and gloom, there are possibilities, but here's the things that they got to do. Paris, never do a video like that again. Give pros and cons to everything. You'll get yourself out of this trouble. And I won't even charge you for that. All right. Let's go to the chat. Andre Wilkins says it's just the Xbox fan base is easiest to infiltrate and exploit for money and views. What it was, I can say that. I can agree with that, Andrew. For one, what started it is you guys beat them up so fucking. You guys like curb stomped them. Like, what you got to understand is, last generation wasn't the worst generation to lose because of games. Last generation was the generation to lose because it was a loss that shouldn't have happened the way that it happened. Now, granted, the Xbox 360 generation, a lot of things had to go wrong with PlayStation in order for them to, see the advantages that they saw. With that said, though, it happened. And what it did for Xbox that it did for no other competitor of Xbox is it said, okay, we're going into a new generation and these people can compete with PlayStation. So going into that generation, now finally you got people that can compete with PlayStation. You totally muffed it up. You didn't take it seriously. You did to good old Microsoft. Well, we beat you now in something that you dominated in. You're smaller than us. We are now going to just flick your carcass off the cliff, and now we're going to do what we want to do. That was the wrong mind state to take against Sony, right? And people, I felt it too. I felt, at the end of that generation, even though, the consoles had caught up and all that other stuff, you still felt it too, that the moment before TV, the momentum was with Xbox. Then TV happened over the summer, and then you had the E3 that just kind of capped the fate to where it was like, okay, you're going to pay more for a box that isn't as capable. And then you had Digital Foundry out there with every multiplat out there reminding you, you know what I'm saying? So it was going to be a situation to where PlayStation was going to be in the lead, but how much of a lead they were going to be, that was dependent upon Xbox. If they would have built the games, if they would have been willing to just go through one more generation where they really had to put a lot of money into coming up with great games, we'd be having different conversations. Because the fact of the matter is, they can't afford, and when I say they, I mean PlayStation, for this to work for them financially, they got to sell 110, or they got to sell like 100 million consoles via a generation, or they got, they got to average like 15 million consoles. They can't be splitting hairs like that because of the money that they put into different things. They gotta be averaging at 100 million. When they get under that 100 million, that things get a little, things get a little frosty for them. So had you had one more generation where you really fought them tooth and nail, instead of trying to go on this unorthodox path that you have no control over whatsoever, and you can't provide quality gaming in at all, you could have made it still a competition. So Xbox gamers felt like they were cheated out of the main match, right? Xbox gamers feel like that they appreciated the 360 generation, putting you in the mind of an Xbox gamer. They liked the 360 generation, but they wanted to prove themselves, because the thing that we heard that whole generation is, oh, y'all started early, or oh, you had the red ring of death, so that's why you had more consoles. When if you looked at the software sales were still high. Just because the console broke doesn't mean that you got to get a new game too. Right? You know what I'm saying? Like, so Xbox gamers wanted to prove themselves, and they felt like they got cheated out of proving themselves that generation because of the mistakes that were made. So they're thinking that, okay, the Xbox Series X and the Series S, all these games are still multi-plat. We still even the playing field as far as us getting the same games. The only difference maker now, because we're going to have the more powerful machine again, right? This is what they're thinking. We're going to have the more powerful machine again. The only difference maker is going to be our exclusive content, which we done bought all these studios. We're going to be doing it. We closed out the generation buying Bethesda. Now we're going to go to war. Now we're going to do it. They felt like we've eliminated every single thing that held us back and cheated us out of our opportunity to really fight you, except the main problem. This is where Xbox gamers fucked up. And they were the cause of their own defeat. Because yes, on many avenues that was so true, the TV bullshit, y'all got rid of that. You had a more powerful console on paper. You made strides in technology that was forward thinking, that could have done wonders for your ecosystem. You did a lot of, you were positioned in a lot of ways, honestly, better than the 360 was. You were positioned in a lot of ways better than the 360 was. Then, even though it was a few years after the launch of the generation, you throw in there that y'all bought ABK. Can you imagine that? Can you imagine if PlayStation bought ABK? What that would mean? It would officially be game, like literally Microsoft, you know what I'm saying? They would be on CNN somewhere. We're out. You know what I'm saying? And they would be putting up a close sign the moment that was said. Can you imagine if PlayStation bought ABK? Oh, we're out. You know what I mean? It would be over. Why did none of that improve your situation? It made it worse. Because the main thing that was fucking you up was never addressed. Your leadership. That was the main thing killing Xbox, was the leadership. It was never addressed. Phil closed down. Phil led to them closing down the Fable Legends, which a lot of Xbox gamers was like, well, hold on, what the fuck were you doing? I love this in beta. He closed down, what's it called? Scalebound. He had poor management and oversight over what was going on with Crackdown and that partner team that they was working with. Even though I get that they was bought out or whatever, but you and Terry Myerson put so much into this game. Like, again, Terry Myerson was so evil against Xbox. Terry Myerson is the only thing that was keeping them interested in what do you call it? In Crackdown. And when that technology left, y'all should have, you could have had Terry Myerson on your side. Did y'all pick up that technology? But you didn't. You mismanaged the console by having the Series S launch. You mismanaged xCloud by having it consoles in the sky, the stupidest fucking thing you could do. You went there and went with Bethesda, and instead of leaving their shit multiplat to give them a sly mirage to the regulators that, hey, we're looking to be friendly with everybody. Had you did that, you'd have been able to run away with ABK and do whatever the fuck you want to do, and we would be having different conversations right now. You decided to no, we're gonna. This is for everything on Game Pass. What Bethesda purchase was for, everything exclusive where Game Pass is at. You did that against the common sense that was being spread all around the company. And now y'all want to sit there and blame Sarah Bond because Sarah Bond's doing this is Xbox. I think the campaign is dumb. I think the campaign is tone deaf, and I think it's the wrong approach, but it's not like it's not a unilateral decision. It's not Sarah Bond bad, Phil Spencer good. You motherfuckers are so stupid. That's why you keep getting it with no Vaseline. They're both dumb in regards to gaming. They both have no idea what to do with the consumer base and to win over gaming and grow it. Y'all, you never addressed the leadership. Why? Because you kept capping for it. The leadership sucks at Xbox. That's what's killing Xbox. It's nothing else. It's not the Xbox tax. It's none of that stuff. It's not the CMA. It's not regulators. It's your leadership. The CMA doesn't have a chance to do what they did if Phil Spencer doesn't fuck up how he handled Bethesda. You dumbass Xbox fanboys, you understand that, right? If he doesn't try to make Bethesda prematurely exclusive, fucking Google and whoever else complained, they have no grounds to go to the CMA and get the CMA's attention. Oh, they're going to bitch and moan, but the CMA is not paying them any attention. The core focus of their argument that won the CMA and the regulators over was what they did with Bethesda. See what they did with Bethesda? See how they were making, they made promises publicly that it was going to be first, better, or best on Xbox. And look what they did with Bethesda. They are not to be trusted with ABK. That was the foundation of their argument. If Xbox would have left everything multiplat and talked like, we're not changing anything, the CMA has no ground, or whatever they were going to do with the EU, it works. It was his handling of Bethesda that made ABK deal such an albatross against what y'all wanted in the long run. Y'all never addressed the leadership. As a matter of fact, y'all kept capping for it. It's like if there was a radioactive core sitting in the middle of your house and the whole family's choking, mommy, can't breathe. And it's like, we're getting all these hives and shit. Our skin is peeling. And someone comes in and says, oh, you got a radioactive core. That's not good. You're going to have all types of ailments. We got a hazmat team that can take this out for you. And you guys go need to get checked up and say, no, it's so glowy. It lights up our house, keeps us warm. Keep it here. That's essentially what y'all did. Instead of getting rid of Phil Spencer and that crackpot leadership, y'all adored it. You did it to yourselves. And now people are just looking at y'all and they're trying to play the sympathy card with y'all, and they're trying to give prudence to crap shot gameplay. That's $70. I'm gonna be honest with you. That's the thing I'm focused on, because how do you have gameplay and elements and movement like that for $70? Like, it was and again, I get where Cold Blood's coming from, and I'm not saying he's wrong. I just don't understand how you guys are capping for a janky experience. Or I'll say this, maybe, how are y'all capping for an experience that's charging you for something it's not giving you? It's like being charged for DLC. It's like, would you go into a store and buy a car at the top model luxury price and then not give you those amenities? Like, would you walk into a store and say, oh, this BMW, and it starts off at 60,000 with the bare minimum, 80,000 with this, and then 100,000 with this, right? And I'm just, I'm just throwing prices out there. And then they charge you $100,000, but they put the $60,000 worth of stuff in there. Like, are y'all the type of consumers that walk out of the store and be like, yeah, I just got beat. I'm excited. That's what it feels like. They're charging $70 for this game when it has like $40, $50 worth of technology in it. Old Man Gaming Guru says, no, sir, it was pre-Xbox One, wasn't it? Like 2+ years after Gears 3 when Xbox One launched. But they released nothing in that time and started charging for so many different things. I left at that time. Now, I love the Xbox 360 generation. I will say there were periods like, I can't remember when Uncharted was at E3. There was that, and then the last 2 years of the generation where they clearly was just focused on the Kinect. I was like, hey, what the fuck is going on here? But then what I found out too is you guys, if you follow the content, you'll see that's when Phil Spencer started taking over. That's when he was head of Worldwide Studios. When the games got light and shitty, Like, we can blame the Kinect, but you're trying to tell me that you can't get other games too? That's when he became head of Worldwide Studios, is when the game started getting shitty for Xbox 360. Look it up. I love the 360 generation. But Phil is the problem. And until these Xbox gamers deal with Phil, he's going to remain a problem. So, all right. Let's go. That's what's going on with Indiana Jones. I think those are the three people that are, those are the three groups that are primarily. I mean, there are people that just like it. You know, there's always people that, you know, that rather have the TV dinner than go to the 5-star restaurant, even if they're not paying. There's all, you know, whatever. You like it, I love it. But clearly, the three groups that are like heavily most influenced in this are. Oh, and I didn't even talk about group 3. Group 1 is the group. Oh, just give them a chance. Group 2 are the ones that are laser focused on the console war. They just want to keep the console war going, and they know they got to give Xbox something in order to keep that rolling. And group number 3, which I didn't talk about, which I real quick, and I think this is the group that Hip Hop Gamer is in, and so many others are in, because normally when you say something like this is on the grounds of Naughty Dog, you're just extremely hyped. When we think Naughty Dog, thank you, Juice, for becoming a member or extending your membership. Thank you, brother. When you think about invoking Insomniac or Santa Monica, when you invoke them, you're invoking stellar action gameplay. This has no stellar action gameplay in it at all. No, and all the people that are giving it tens, nobody's saying it has that. So I don't know. I mean, he says, yeah, that's controversial. Yeah, it's right. I don't know if you made it controversial on purpose because it's not true and you knew it was going to bring attention to what you have to say. I don't prescribe to doing things like that, but hey, to each his own. But yeah, you don't invoke Santa Monica and you don't invoke Insomniac unless it's a top of the line action title. I could somewhat understand Naughty Dog on and heavily narrative focused, but then they have great action as well. So that they wouldn't fit either, but they, I can somewhat see someone bumbling that and trying to connect that dot. But Santa Monica and Insomniac, no. So I think there were a lot of people that just were overly excited and nostalgic towards Indiana Jones, and that's why they said what they said. Shout out to Juice, celebrating 8 months of membership. He says, if you look up Failing Up, Phil's picture would appear. Yeah, it would. Failing Up. Absolutely. Hit that like button, y'all. All right. Let's move on. So Cold Blood, I want to take 2024. I want to look at it and I want to ask you, if you had to name 3 things that you thought were great about PlayStation in 2024 and 3 things that you thought was bad about PlayStation in 2024, what would they be and why?
Oh, interesting question. Are we going by just features and hardware or anything?
Anything.
Okay. The negative outweighs the positive right now, to be honest with you. I mean, we had great games at the beginning of the year.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of them in quick succession.
Mm-hmm.
But as soon as summer was over with, the cracks started showing.
Mm-hmm.
Like fucking Concord, Lego Horizon. Holy shit. Those are some negative ass points for PlayStation there. I mean, Astrobot did good. I can say nothing about Astrobot. What is good? Well, the Pro launched, I guess. Is it good right now? Maybe in some games. But we need some games that take real advantage of this Pro. But why does it have to be free things?
Well, I mean, if you want me to go first, I can go first. Just to get, I mean,
No. I gotta think right now, actually. Fuck. I mean, like I said, great games is one point at the beginning of the year.
Mm-hmm.
PlayStation 5 Pro is more of a success than these fucking bots made it out to be. Like, they said, oh, nobody gonna buy it. I never said nobody's gonna buy it. I'm just saying a lot of people are gonna hold off on it because of the price.
Mm-hmm.
And that's exactly what some people do right now. They're just waiting until it's much cheaper, which, like I said, absolutely understandable. Negative is Concord and fucking Lego Horizon, absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
Like, those two games did not have to exist. Another negative thing, Remind me, Moss. Actually, remind me. What do you think?
Well, if I had to do positives, I would say the first half of 2024, as far as like just the gems that were being dropped by PlayStation, and you know, I think that 2024 was a great, or the beginning of 2024 was great for PlayStation. My second thing would be PlayStation 5 Pro. Within itself, the machine, the technology, the machine itself, I think was a positive thing, and it actually changed my mind as far as where I really want to game and even buy my games. And thirdly, you know, even though it's kind of like double dipping, but I love Stellar Blade. Like, Stellar Blade is just fucking awesome, and the fact that PlayStation and Yoshida, which we're going to surely miss, was able to again use their talents to find something with potential, just add the PlayStation sauce to it and make it great. Despite its Metacritic score, which we debated earlier with Indiana Jones and all this stuff, I think Stellar Blade, just that partnership was excellent. Was just excellent for gamers that want great games. If I had to pull a negative, I would definitely say, yeah. I'm going to put it like this. I'm going to say the latter half of 2024 was bad. I would say also the choice of not having a AAA genre defining game to close out 2024, like you went with the hero shooter. Like, I know it's kind of like double dipping again, but that specific choice has to be called out. You know what I mean? And the choice of the leadership to do that type of stuff. And then lastly, I would say, even though I feel like the PlayStation 5 Pro is something positive, I feel like the rollout was negative. I think Mark Cerny's presentations were poor. And I think the choice of laying this at the feet of Digital Foundry to make this console kingmaker, I think was poor. So I'll rephrase my number one for the three negative things. Number one for the negative is the leadership. The flaws in the leadership really showed themselves this year in multiple ways. The pacing of 2024 in the games, shit like Lego Horizon and Concord, the rollout of the leadership was really porous. The rollout of the PlayStation 5 Pro, I don't think, I think was not smart of them. And then what did I say? And then not having that atypical AAA genre defining game that you either developed or you curated. At the end of the, those were the things. Or you know what? No. I would say, well, no, I can't say that. I might replace my 3, or you could steal this one, which I'm like 98% sure they ain't doing. If they have no showcase for the 30th anniversary, when there's got to be shit to show, that would be a huge L. A huge L. So those are my 3 and 3. You guys have your 3 and 3 in the chat. Throw it out there. Let us know. Let us know what you think. Oh, I don't have it. The PlayStation was excellent. I can see y'all right now. All right. Unless you had anything else on that Cold Blood, I think we can move on. This last one is good.
Like I said, I can't think of anything else. Like 2024 is pretty much Xbox shooting itself in the foot, and Sony just taking advantage of that.
Yeah.
By not doing nothing and just waiting right now. I mean, sure they released the Pro. I'm not saying that's not big, but they are waiting for someone to come in and be a fucking danger to them or something. Does it feel to you that way?
Yeah. Well, somebody might be taking the bait now that you bring that up, and that is a perfect segue into this last topic, which is, I'll put it on the screen. We go. Steam Machine 2.0. Now, before I get hyperbolic here, which I'm not saying this is going to win the day. I am not saying that at all. Here's what I am saying. To Cold Blood's point, I don't think you even try this. You don't even, and this could just be exploratory on Steam's part. You don't even try this unless you smell blood in the water. You know what I'm saying? Unless you feel like, damn, Xbox done fucked up and bent the knee. But damn, that leadership over at PlayStation, man, they might, you know what I'm saying? We might be able to do this. Because when did they try this last time, Cold Blood? Didn't they tried it at the beginning of the PlayStation 4 generation, right? Am I right about that? I think that's when they tried the Steam machines, the first time around. I think it was the beginning of the PlayStation 4 generation. And when they tried it then, there was nothing happening. Here, let me type. Let me check that out. When did Steam machines launch? Okay, 2015. Yeah. PlayStation 4 had already came in a hyperdrive, and the Xbox community was still they still had a little bit of fight in them in 2015, just a little bit. As far as, anticipation and believing the woes of Phil Spencer were not yet publicly known, or they weren't known across the board yet. So there was still some hope amongst the Xbox brass, right? And they tried coming out with the Steam machines in 2015, and it was like, no. We're focused on the console. So, no, you were coming out against a phenomenon. If there was, I can't even say then. You could have tried it with the PlayStation 3, right? You could have tried it. And I even think now this doesn't have much traction. Why? Because the Pro's out. Pro's only going to get better. It's been a rocky start in some ways. Yeah, it has been a rocky start. I mean, to be fair, numerically, most of the games do work. You do have issues with a handful of games, but those issues shouldn't even exist. Meaning, if the enhancements don't work, then they don't get rolled out. So I think Steam or Gabe Newell is looking at this, bro. And he's like, yeah, we might, we couldn't do this in the 7th generation. We tried it in the 8th generation. PlayStation just, it just wasn't going to work. But maybe the 9th generation, you know what I'm saying? I think they smell blood in the water. And again, for full transparency, I don't think this is going to work. I think the Pro kind of killed it, right? Because in order to get to do what the Pro can do, you got to come up with proprietary parts, right? Or you're going to have to come up with proprietary parts that are going to fit in these custom boxes. So you're going to have to come up with maybe even specialized GPUs, which whenever you come up with these proprietary parts, they're always more expensive. So to get a Steam machine that's as powerful as the PlayStation 5 Pro, it might be $1,000. You understand what I'm saying? That ain't gonna work. And especially if all the games that the majority of the people play, for this box's target demo, because this box's target demo is a console gamer. Why would I leave the comfortability of PlayStation with the $700 box, go buy a $1,000 box, and then still miss out on games? You know what I'm saying? Because PC don't get all the games. And here's another thing too, which I find it comical that people are raising this possibility. This box is not going to have PlayStation games on it. Not until, no. This box will not have PlayStation games on it. Even if PlayStation were to go day and date, they're going to say, for this particular, what you're going to need to do is in your Steam store, that's associated for your box, it has to be able to determine, can nobody play this game on that box and switch off access? There's no way that a console type device is going to be able to play a PlayStation game day and date. They don't care if it's a PC user, fine. But if someone's actually buying this console box, PlayStation ain't gonna allow that. No way. No way. That even if they do go day and date, particularly if they go day and date, then why buy a PlayStation? You understand? Why buy a PlayStation? So that's not going to happen. So for all of y'all that are looking at that like, oh man, yeah, the PlayStation game's going to be on there. No, they're not. No, they're not. But let's kind of read on it. It says Valve appears to be developing a new standalone Steam console for players, according to recent rumors and findings from various Valve data miners. The Washington-based company is working on a new traditional system known as Fremont, along with the Steam Controller 2 and Deckard VR headset. In a series of posts on social media, Valve insider Brad Lynch posted what considers to be signs of the new Steam OS hardware. First, he discussed why it couldn't be a dock for current devices like Steam Deck. Lynch said that the evidence suggests a full-size HDMI port being hardwired in the card directly as opposed to being connected via USB-C. All references to Fremont ensure checks for a full-size HDMI Type A port you'd see on a TV Focus. In other data areas, it shows AMD Lilac board being used for development, while the final board is complete with firmware specifically developed for this new device being worked on as well. It's also shown the Quanta computer, the manufacturer of the Steam Deck, is providing feedback on the new system. Yeah, I would be interested to see what's in this, and if they take the Steam Deck approach where there's various models, which kind of got confusing for console gamers back in the day. I think it would be less confusing for console gamers now. But, you know, or do you have just one proprietary system that can play PC games? You know what I'm saying? And how much is that going to run? It would be very interesting to see. Very interesting to see. Cold Blood, what are your thoughts on this rumor? How much belief do you put behind this rumor? And if it is true, how successful do you think it would be?
Sorry, I wasn't here. What I was talking about?
Steam, this rumored Steam console that's supposed to be coming out.
Oh.
Yeah, how true do you think this could be? And if it is true, how successful do you think it would be?
Why would they make another console when their first console flopped like crazy?
I think they like you said.
Wait, Moss, wait. So you're telling me you want a PC as a console? Is that it? You just want a PC console? Is that what we're doing here right now? If that is what you want, just build a PC. What the fuck are you doing?
Well, to your point,
you don't need it.
To your point that you made earlier, though, I'm gonna throw this back at you. They probably, I think it's a dumb idea too, but they probably, and I want your thoughts on this. They probably think that PlayStation leadership over there is off their rocker. Here's our chance. What do you think about that?
Here's our chance for who?
Well, I think it's a dumb idea. With the Pro, especially with the Pro being out, one of these Steam machines would have to cost $1,000 in order to buck with the Pro. They're not going to take a loss on this.
If they gonna make a Steam machine this time around, you think they're gonna have dedicated GPUs in there? Because I don't think so. I think they're gonna have a fucking APU in there that's gonna be hella underpowered.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Comparatively.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's gonna be another fucking Ouya, bro.
Mm-hmm. No. Oh. You think it's gonna be that?
Yeah. Nobody wants that, bro. If someone wants to game on Steam and shit, they build a PC.
Mm-hmm.
You can build a fucking small ass PC now, with enough cooling to keep everything working as intended. You don't need Valve to make that shit anymore. On the PC side, build it yourself.
Well, what if you have someone like Doc, right? And I'm pretty sure there's a market for people like
someone like Doc didn't even want to build his own and bought a fucking Walmart PC.
Exactly. And he spent $900 for that. What if you
Bro,
get a machine?
he did not even try.
Mm-hmm.
That's what I'm saying. He didn't even try to build one. He immediately said, "Oh, nah, I'm just buying a Walmart PC for fucking $1,000."
Mm-hmm.
And gonna tell everybody I don't regret it on Twitter.
I don't think it's gonna succeed. I think this is what they're thinking though.
No. On PC, it's over with.
Mm-hmm.
You got way too much competition on PC with the fucking the ones that make the pre-built ones, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And just you can build your own. Why would you want Steam to build you a fucking PC?
Well,
that is going to be it's going to be limited as well.
Oh yeah.
You gotta remember, it's going to be limited to Steam OS.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, sure, you probably can hack that motherfucker and put Windows on it, but it's going to be unoptimized as shit. Just like it is on Steam if you put Windows on it. It's unoptimized.
I think and again, I'm not saying this in belief that this will work. This is not going to work. I think they see two things. I think they see, to your point, that the PlayStation leadership is like downtrodden and confused. But now that I think about it, more importantly, if Xbox is bowing out and not giving support to the console, and they're giving support and they're telling people go to a PC, most of these mofos is going to be lost, or they don't have enough cash. They can't build their own PC, or they don't have the patience. And everything you're saying is right. Technically, it's right, but people are lazy and confused. So if Gabe Newell, who seems to who pretends to be Phil Spencer's best friend now, if he comes out and he's like, "I got your solution. Here goes a box. It's going to be console-like, that you can play your Xbox games and all your PC games on it. Here you go." I bet you that's what they're thinking now that Xbox is bowing out. Now, again, that's just my opinion. That's my opinion. Let me see here. I'm gonna ask the chat. You guys think, dude? And anybody that says yes, I want to know your name and phone number so we can get you a health check. Do you guys think a new Steam box console would be successful? That's what I bet they're thinking, Cold Blood. Again, to every point that you made, yes, it's going to fail because they're going to discover what Doc's discovered. He thought he was going to buy that $900 Walmart PC and he was going to get some badass 60 frames per second. And it's not. The shit was bleeping and boop, boop, beep, 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 and he was going online trying to get help. It's going to be horrible for these dudes if this thing releases and they try to buy it. But that's what I think he's thinking. I think he's thinking, we can do this and we can take advantage of these people before they go to PlayStation. But here's the problem. Why would I buy a Steam box that either A, is going to be significantly more expensive than, or B, to Cold Blood's point, if it is priced to a typical console, going to be so underpowered? Why would I buy that when I can simply get a PlayStation? Why would I do that? And the thing that's going to make it worse, Cold Blood, is I'm not even getting all the games on PC. Like, a lot of stuff comes to PC, but I'm not getting the play. So I'm going to spend $700 to $900 on this box. Or let's just say if I spend $500 on this box, like you said, it's going to be underpowered and I'm going to be missing out on PlayStation games. Because PlayStation, even if PlayStation goes day and date, There's no way they're going to allow this box to play their day and date games on PC on this box. No, Steam is going to have to shut that access off. So I'm going to buy this box. It's either going to be too expensive or underpowered, and I'm not going to get access to PlayStation games. I would just buy a PlayStation. Why would I buy this box unless it's for Game Pass? And Game Pass is not going to. I think this box is banking on the refugees that the Xbox, shift in strategy is going to create. It's banking on those refugees, and they're sitting there thinking, well, if we put something out there, we can bag a lot of these refugees opposed to them all going to PlayStation. I think that's what they're thinking. And they probably think it's worth it because, look, let's be honest, there's going to be like 30 to 40 million, maybe by the time everything's said and done, there's going to be around 50 million Xbox refugees. And Steam is excited over the Steam Deck, but how many Steam Decks are there, Cold Blood? Ain't there like only 5 million or something like that?
I think 5 million now.
Yeah. How many Steam Decks have been sold? Yeah, so like 1.6 million in 2022. They said multiple millions, so maybe 2 million in 2023. And then estimates say, so about 3 million, 3 or 4 million, right? So if they can sell this at a profit too, and out of those 50 million refugees, they get 10 million, they might think it's worth it. I don't know, man. I don't think it's going to work. I don't think it's going to work, but I'm just, I bet you that's their mindset. Like, yeah, we can siphon off 10 million of these refugees. Doc probably gave him the idea and shit. Shout out to Doc Dark. He said, hold on, that dude bought what? Oh man, how many, what? There's dudes that's actually with PC game under these conditions. Oh, hey, somebody go call up our manufacturer. Call up our manufacturer. There's actually dudes that are willing to do this. I'll call him up now. Yep. I bet you that's what happened. That's what they're thinking. And we'll see how far they get. All right. Let's go to the chat. I think it's a stupid idea too, Cold Blood. I do. But I bet you that's what they're thinking. As we're talking about control earlier, let's go further down in the chat. He said, Corey Massey says, wait, who is this for? Xbox refugees? He says, no, MM2K, let's ask the question. Who's this for? Wasn't that the question with the PlayStation 5 Pro? Yeah, no, yeah. I mean, the PlayStation 5 Pro, in my opinion, renders this thing useless and unsuccessful. Like, if I'm on that board, I'm like, Gabe, don't do it. Gabe, you're better off just making a more powerful Steam Deck with a dock. Please do that. Just stay in the handheld realm. Make a more powerful Steam Deck with a dock that you can dock, and then it upscales to 4K. Using some version of FSR or some shit like that. I guess there's going to be a new FSR coming. That's what I would do if I was Gabe. Or that's how I would advise him. I would never co-sign this because the PlayStation 5 Pro just rendered this useless. Like, you can't, it's like they would have been able to get away with, probably, right? And this is the hypocrisy of it, Corey, that I think you're alluding to. Because people were like, $700 is too expensive. Meanwhile, I'm playing games on this thing. Hold on. Hold on one second. Sorry about that, y'all. Okay. Yeah, so that's what you're alluding to, Corey, is the hypocrisy and all, because remember, they were like, oh yeah, you can't spend $700 on that. That's too much. But just imagine if there was no PlayStation 5 Pro, Corey, in chat, and you guys all know this. If there was no PlayStation 5 Pro, but then Steam dropped this and said, look, we are now dropping a PC-esque console that had the same power of the PlayStation 5 Pro and ran with AMD FSR technology. But in that case, they would have to charge it's not going to be less than $900. There's no way. Number one, the reason why the PlayStation 5 Pro is $700, and remember, guys, it was argued that it could have even been cheaper. They just couldn't justify it with the board because they're like, why are we dropping this $100? The market price is $250 over our base. Our base is the digital. The digital's $450. This needs to be $700, and we're not shaving. Why are we shaving off $100 when nobody's coming up with something comparable, right? But this could have been $600, reasonably, right? The PlayStation 5 Pro. That being said, y'all, imagine PlayStation is able to make this $700 because they are a manufacturer. They already have manufacturing relationships with people. They can get parts cheaper. That's why, unlike any other console out there, they usually sell their high-powered consoles at a profit only like 1 to 2 years after launch. Nobody else can do that. Nobody else can do that but PlayStation. Now, you guys talk about the Switch. Switch probably makes profit. Switch is not a high-powered machine. PlayStation is able to sell high-powered machines at a profit because of those relationships that they have with manufacturers. You know, the more and they sell a lot, and then every time they order a new batch, all those parts get cheaper and cheaper because the more that you order, cheaper the price. The more money that they make when the price goes down, right? So it would if Steam doesn't have such said relationship. So in order for them to put PC parts together, and I don't think they would be in a proprietary sense. I mean, I don't think they would be your run-of-the-mill parts. Like it can't just be any MSI. What's it called? It's like what Cold Blood said. It would have to be a special APU made for them. That's not going to run cheap, and a lot of these other components are not going to run cheap for them like they run cheap for PlayStation. So I would say that if they were to put something out as powerful as the PlayStation 5 Pro, it would have been $900. Now, here's the point that I'm trying to make. If they were to put something as powerful as the PlayStation 5 Pro out for $900, these Xbox would be eating it up. They'd be like, "Oh yeah, that's what's up. That's what yeah. That's what's up. Xbox can go away. That's all right. I'm gonna get my $900 Steam machine, and it's more powerful than they would eat that shit up. They would eat it up. Yeah. Who cares? I don't even need to build a PC no more. Steam got my back. Yeah. Valve got me. Yeah. They would have ate it up. And I think then they would kind of have a market because some of these brain dead people that don't understand are getting bamboozled in these situations, or they're just ignorant to PC components and what's in their best interest to do based upon what they're looking for. They would have been gullible to this and they would have gobbled it up and said, well, yeah, but we ain't got no choice. You know what I'm saying? Because Xbox is, kind of not catering to the Xbox community. So yeah, let me go get this $900 box, right? And then let me get my Game Pass on that $900 box. And I'm going to buy my PC games anyway, not realizing that even if there is a proprietary OS and system around it, there's still going to be complications that they're not ready for. You know what I mean? That being said, I could see then, again, a bunch of gullible people that if Xbox dropped the Pro, they would have spent a bunch of money on it. They would have probably gone as high as $900. Again, we saw the homie Doc Dark Got a $900 PC. He's doing 1080p, 1440p with all the bells and crack whistles on it, right? He's doing that. There's a lot more people like Doc that would have done that. Then I could understand this dropping for those people. But now that the Pro is out, I'm here to tell you, there's no level of Twitter FUD, because I'm telling you right now, they're just not vocal and they need to be more vocal. Now, don't get me wrong. There are issues. Again, I talked about them with the rollout of the Pro, them making Digital Foundry kingmaker as far as the impressions of this thing, and then them approving patches. There are problems. But believe you me, I'm talking to gamers who have the Pro. They're not PlayStation fanboys. These are gamers that just happen to buy the Pro. They are happy. And they're happy off old games. Like, okay, Marvel Rivals and shit. But they're happy. Wait till the new games start coming out. There is no market for this thing. I'm sorry. It's too little too late. And it's like Valve keeps trying to play hopscotch to get near. Valve, you found your ticket. It's the handheld. Just run with the handheld like Nintendo does. Create a dockable one that can, in a powerful way. Well, I think it already comes with a dock, but come up with one that in a powerful way can upscale to 4K. And that's it. And let it be, man. This is not going to work. Juice says that may work against Steam. PS may stop putting games on Steam altogether. Yeah. I mean, I don't think they would have to, but that may force their hand. What are they thinking has nothing to do with PlayStation. They are looking at the Xbox numbers. Yeah. And don't think that Xbox is making exactly. I agree with that, Juice. I just think that in their thinking, they should be thinking about PlayStation, because PlayStation is going to stop this. People, look, everybody's not Kid Smooth. Everybody is not Pastor. Gamers are gamers. They may have got excited and got in the rah-rah of Xbox versus PlayStation, whatever, consumers may do that. But at the end of the day, when you feel like that one brand is no longer servicing you and there's nothing left there for you, you're just going to make the most feasible switch. A Steam Deck 2.0 will not be a feasible switch. If the Pro didn't come out, maybe they would have a market. But those people are just going to come to PlayStation. They just don't know it yet. But I do. All right, let's end this and then we can end the stream and the poll. 85% of you, when we asked, do you think a new Steam box would be successful? 85% of you said no. 14% of you said yes. Well, with that, Cold Blood, any final thoughts before we get the heck out of here?
Aren't you going to talk about Ubisoft?
No, I ain't talking. There's no, because people need to learn the lesson. I ain't gonna get into Ubisoft. People need to learn the lesson. Ubisoft is about to fuck up gaming, just like I said. They're working with Tencent to buy themselves out in the most egregious way. We're gonna wait until that happens, and when that happens, I will have a lot to say. I'm really disgusted at the community for allowing this to happen, but we'll cross that bridge once they finalize their disgusting master plan. So, yeah. But did you have it? I mean, if you have something to say about it, go right ahead. You can give it a shot. I'm going to reserve all my comments to later.
No.
So.
No, absolutely not. But I thought you might have something to say.
I'm gonna hold off.
Since you love Ubisoft so much.
I'm hoping it doesn't happen. That's all I'll say right now. I'm hoping that Tencent and Ubisoft don't buy, because then that's not gonna be good. All right. let's get out of here. Thank you so much, guys, for coming through. We appreciate it. And also, like we said, consider becoming a member. We always got members content for you guys. I'm recording something or we're going live, you know, pretty much throughout the week. Throwing up videos of me playing on the pro and stuff like that, exclusive for members and stuff like that. I got a couple of more that are going to come up exclusive for members, and I got a public one that's going to come up too. And then we are looking to get some giveaways and stuff set up, centered around our new Discord. So to be part of that new Discord experience, you definitely want to become a member, because we're going to use your memberships to just slide you right over. If you are a member, what you're going to want to do is make sure you go into Discord, sync your YouTube account with your Discord account, because we're going to use that, because those are the people that are going over first, so we can test out some of this stuff. But yeah, get ready for that. All right, y'all, I'm out of here. Thank y'all very much. We will see y'all later. Till next time, have a wonderful, wonderful gaming day. Peace.